Is it all right? Yes? Okay, perfect. Okay, so I will share with you what I've been doing in the last few months. I've been discussing with a lot of people from the community, from people outside the community, or a bit in between. I've got a lot of feedback about how people see the OCA, what we struggle with as the OCA, but also as Odoo integrators. And this is the base of this talk. So I will show you what I've learned, some facts that I've discovered, and what we propose to do for the next months and the next years even. Oh. It's too quick. Okay, so first I want to share with you the challenges that we are facing. As you know, but we have many challenges, but so I selected the main ones according to my discovery. So first, contributors. We have more and more contributors with the time, but it's growing really slowly. And we also have long-timer contributors that feel that they lack recognition in the OCA ecosystem, and also they become tired because they have been there for some of them more than 10 years. And they feel like we need more people to come and help. But it's hard because when people come, sometimes they don't stick. So it's an effort, it's tiring. So it's a big challenge in an open source community. Second challenge, we have no link with the vendor. Odoo knows about the OCA, but there is no link with the OCA. There is really minimal recognition. We don't have the OCA linked on the Odoo website. I had to fight to get my talk accepted at the Odoo Experience to present the OCA. So there is nothing, like we are really tiny in the Odoo ecosystem, and more tiny as the time passes. Third challenge, positioning. What is OCA in the end? We are all here, but what do we do? And for a lot of people outside here, or even maybe people in this room, OCA is just OCA modules. High quality, good modules that I can install. It's free. It's amazing. But is it something else? Is there something else behind the OCA? For other people, the OCA is also just a techie community. Like a club of the old-timers Odoo guys. They know a lot, but if you don't have a high level of technicality and knowledge in Odoo, you cannot make it into the club. And the fourth challenge we face is money. You've seen the figures previously. We are a so small budget in the Odoo world. I mean, it's really a small part of your company's budget, I suppose. And we don't have previsibility because we depend on the sponsoring, and it depends really on the people willing to help, but it's not really structured. So from your point of view, so the integrators, so the people really doing business with Odoo, we selected 4 big challenges that we want to tackle with our proposition. First is the same as the OCA, it's the contributors, but from the other side. So my PR is not reviewed. There is no one who is merging my PR. It's tiring. It's really hard and complex to work with the OCA. What can I do about it? There is also module discoverability and usability. Those modules are great, but the documentation is lacking or sucks. And also, I don't know as a consultant when will be the module I need in the version that I'm working on. So it's also a lot of questions. When is this module becoming available in this version? And we have endless of this kind of email on the contributor mailing list. Third challenge, it's hard to sell open source. If you want to explain the value of open source to your customers, it takes a lot of time. It can be messy, it's hard. They don't see the value. And so it's also something hard for you as an Odoo integrator to make the marketing of the Odoo ecosystem with the open source philosophy. And the last, it's also money, and the same challenge as the OCA. What is the good business model to survive in the Odoo ecosystem? Because the Odoo market is changing, it's becoming more and more aggressive, I would say, because there are more and more people coming into the Odoo game, and you want to be aligned with your open source philosophy, but how do you do both? How do you reconcile everything? So, a lot of challenges. We cannot solve everything, of course, but I think that we can make something better, better than today within the OCA, because what we can do with the OCA is be strong together. So this is the proposition of what we could have as a newcomer in the community, and what are the steps the people could go into. So in blue, it's for individual people, and for the companies, it's in red. And this is an example. So it is possible to take parallel ways, of course, and do a part of it or all of it. Nothing is mandatory, but I felt that we were missing a clear vision of how we can enter the OCA ecosystem and what are the steps with different point of view. So I will go into more details afterwards. But yeah, you see the idea. You use the OCA apps, and then you can become an expert, and you can become a really good supporter of the OCA by following all the steps. So to back me up, I have some facts that I want to share with you. This is also a challenge that I had. We have some facts and some data, but we are also lacking a lot of data. We don't know how many people use OCA modules. We don't know what they do with the OCA modules. We don't know if they are just copying and making some fixes, but without contributing back the fixes. It's really yeah, blurry. But what I can share with you are those. So we shared also before, so this is the evolution of the members, and also I selected the companies. So the real data is the members, but I regrouped the members by companies. And what I see is that only 6% of the companies paying memberships pay for more than 5 members. So we have and those companies, we know them a lot because they're sponsoring everything and they have been there for a long time. But what we see is that companies just pay 1 membership, and that's all, because then why? Why would I want to buy more membership? There is no value behind that. And what we also see is from a geographical point of view, the majority of the members are from Europe. Another data that we have, because we use Odoo, so we can do reporting easily, it is that we have more money. We don't really have more money. It's like, you see this unpredictability I was talking about the money that we get from sponsorship. But what we see in red is the average amount by sponsor. So there is a tendency to have more and more company sponsorship the OCA, but giving less and less money. And also 95% of the sponsors are in Europe, US or Canada. And yeah, it's really, we see that the OCA is really European-centric. And those are the facts that we can get from GitHub about the pull requests and contributors. So we see that we have more and more contributors, but it's really a slow, tendency, right? And also Odoo is becoming bigger. We have a lot of different versions that we maintain, so that it's also explained that we have more pull requests with the time. In blue is the expected amount for the rest of the year. So we need to find a way to position the OCA. And what I propose is to, well, it's not finished because we need to work about the communication, but we need to make the world know that the OCA, it's really about real collaboration and real open source. And to win that, we need really to win the crowd. We need to have more members. We need to have more companies inside the game. Otherwise, in 5 years' time, I think we are not there anymore. And to do that, I would like to focus on 3 different topics. There are many, many topics, but we have to prioritize, right? So those are the 3 axes that I would like to focus on in the next months and years. It's to focus on membership, contributors recognition, and recurrent subscription. So the goal of the membership, as I told you, when you become a member, right now you don't get anything. You can become a delegate if you're a member, but that's all in the end. It doesn't change anything. When you buy it on the website, you don't receive really a welcome email. It's just really basic. So we should really give value to this membership. And I mean, the new normal should be that anyone using OCA module should be a member in the end. Why not? And what we want to give as a counterpart of the membership, it's knowledge, OCA knowledge. So I will explain you just afterwards. The contributors recognition is because we need also to make known all the people who are doing a really great job for the OCA, and it has been too silent for the last year, so we want to make this a focus as well. And the third axis, it's about visibility for companies, because we think that companies who are working with the OCA and dealing with the complexity of OCA and Odoo ecosystem, they need to get visibility from an independent organization, which is the OCA. So let's dive in. So what we propose for individuals, you know, on the left there is the GitHub donation, which already exists. We don't advertise a lot about it, and we are losing contributions over time. But I think it's not an issue because I want to focus a lot on the membership on the right. And what I propose is to give some access to exclusive content to the members, starting with webinars on technical and functional topics related on Odoo, but also related on the OCA. I was thinking, for example, you want to use the MIS Builder, create MIS reports. It can be messy or hard, but you could get access to a webinar to get to know it. And the future, I envision that we make webinar in different languages with the help of different localization, local associations, because really the power of the community is also in the different countries and the diversity. With this membership, you could also get regular news on what's going on, what are the new modules that are out, which module has been migrated in the latest version, get information about Open Upgrade, because it is also something that comes a lot. And for the moment, people need to get the information in the GitHub. It's not so user-friendly for people who are not really aware of the technical stuff. So we want to bring the information to the members, and not that they have to try hard to find information. And then on the right, it's also, we won't change that. Members, they still get access to the governance before becoming a delegate. And we could also think of additional services in the future. This is the basics, but if we have more money and structure, we can build many other things and offer them to the members to get even more members. So for me, if you are in the OCA, you should get a membership. It's the new normal. For the contributors recognition, what we would like to do is really create a page on the OCA website to promote the contributors and get them a really nice profile with some information about their contributions. They are members of PSC, the list of modules that they are author, the list of modules that they contributed to, a link to the GitHub profile, the name of their company, of course, as well. And also, it is also part of the membership webinar. We want to promote all the experts and the contributors of the OCA and make them known as experts, and we will invite them to share their expertise on webinars, on trainings, and also inform in the newsletter what they have been doing for the OCA, and also social media because we all need to go on social media these days, unfortunately. Then the third axis, so it's for companies. So the big idea here is to get a recurrent revenue. So when company subscribe to those subscriptions, we want them to do so for many years and make it recurrent, which is very different from the sponsorship. Like each year we are asking, do you want to sponsor again? Oh, maybe not, maybe not. Here the idea is that you change the budget. It's not that you give money to the OCA if you have some budget left in the end of the year. It's more like subscription to the OCA is part of your communication and expertise budget, right? And so we have 3 different levels because we have different types of companies and different types of benefits. The basic subscription would be the first step, where you access an onboarding session for developers and consultants, because this is also something hard for newcomers. They don't find their way in the OCA. So that's the first benefit. Authorization to use the OCA subscriber logo on their website and promotion material. We will also list them on the OCA website, and they can also give their input for the future OCA maintenance, which is another axis that we want to make happen in the next years, but which is not ready yet. The second level would be like the expert subscription that we expect many companies would like to have. So it's like the first basic subscription, but you get a dedicated company profile on the OCA website with the list of all the members in the OCA that are part of your company, the number of contributors, the different countries you are working in, and company description. The small differentiation thing is what we have called expert tag, which is something that you claim that you are really good in something, like for example in retail or warehouse management, or I don't know, there are accounting. And we want you to explain how you are really using the OCA knowledge and ecosystem to be good in this topic, in this domain. And you will have this tag on your profile, and the goal is for any customer wanting to have help on certain topics, they will find you with this specificity. And also another benefit that we could add is that you get the logo of your company in the README of the new OCA modules that you contribute. So it gives you more visibility. The last level is the premium subscription, which is like the first plus the second. And there we wanted to create something specifically for the CEOs or managers of Odoo departments to discuss business opportunities, because we know that now bigger companies are wanting to work with Odoo, but as a small company in one country, you might not be big enough, or you need to have some other people in other countries to help you to answer a request for quotation. So the goal is to have this kind of discussion and business discussions in this channel. We also propose to have a quarterly meeting with the board to discuss the strategy of the OCA, and of course more visibility on the OCA website. We still want to keep the sponsorship available, because we know that we have also people in the OCA that are not Odoo integrators. For example, companies are using Odoo for themselves, and they just are really happy that the OCA exists because they use OCA modules. So we want to keep that for them, but make it really simple and with one fee. And for the event sponsorship, like OCA Days or other events, we don't want to change anything at the moment on this topic. So, in summary, this is clear now for you, so I explained every step. I just presented the membership on step 1, and then the basic subscription, expert subscription, and premium subscription on step 3, 5, and 7. But I want to stress that it is not mandatory to be a subscriber to become a contributor. It's not mandatory to be a contributor to be a subscriber. Those are examples. It's not really, there are no prerequisites to do the different steps. So if you are interested in this, there is a QR code there with a link to a survey so that we can gather a bit of information if you are interested in the different subscriptions. So that I told you I need more data, so please give me data. And yeah, so in summary, we have 3 things that we can do together. So you can buy a membership for the whole people in your company. So you can register for a subscription if you are interested in, and you also can give me a lot. What I need also is your feedback, of course, because I'm presenting all of this like, woohoo, it's all new. But I want to get a sense of, is it what you want? Is it useful? Can we do new big things with all these new ideas? And the third step is, yeah, if you have ideas and you want to orient the strategy of all these axes, please join a working group that we will be building in the next months, and you can just contact me to be in there. So that's it. I think we can have some questions. Oh, also, I printed some part of the presentation on paper if you want to have a look and check a bit more in detail, because it went quite fast. So you can come and get them. And do we have a mic? Oh, we lost the mic.
I've never seen these afterwards.
But there is no question, so we don't need a mic. Oh, no, there is. Okay.
First, thank Virginie for working on this, for trying to include it. There are some very interesting proposals here, but I don't agree with several of them. The first one is about including the company logo on the modules you create. I'm not going to be I don't want to contribute to a module that has another company logo. So this is totally breaking the principle of contribution and collaboration. Mm-hmm. So that is, allow me to say, a very bad idea. So the rest can be more or less suitable, but mm-hmm. that one I don't consider as a good one, because I won't have any motivation to contribute on a module that is going to promote another company. Mm-hmm. And you know that the most veteran modules and the best modules are something of a lot of companies collaborating to this module.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I will just repeat for YouTube. Yeah. So Pedro thanked me for the work. And he saw quite improvement there, but he really doesn't agree with the company logo aspect on the subscription, because he doesn't want to collaborate, to contribute on the modules where there is another company's logo on it. And it will break the circle of contribution and collaboration. Okay. So I took notes.
Thank you for the summary. And the other one is you have talked about, obviously, contributor recognition, and this is very important, but you have filters, you have modules on only individuals. And it's same important or even more to get company contributors recognition, because at the end, individual contributors are paid by companies. So if you don't do this and you only get company visibility through paying, we are prostituting the ecosystem. It's hard word, but somehow we are doing the same as enterprise, paying for being on a member list, on a partner list. So something that can balance this is to get these levels of subscription through contribution. For example, you can pay or you can contribute this number of the metrics we want to do. So that can balance both things.
Okay. So I will repeat for YouTube. So about contributors recognition, we focus here only on individuals, but we also need to promote companies, because in the end, companies are paying the contributors. And this could even be similar to prostitution of the ecosystem. Ah, okay. Prostitution, okay. But there is a way to balance that. And you can choose to either you pay or you contribute to get visibility. Yeah. Yeah, maybe you can come and talk here in my mic directly.
He was before for saying something.
Oh yeah. Go, come. Yeah, because I don't want to repeat every time.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I have a problem with this.
Okay. I'll be the PA.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Well, mine really just revolves around this. I'm not so sure if I misunderstood it or understood it, but also it's tied very much to the statistics that you showed us a lot earlier. So I'm from Uganda. That's a state somewhere in Africa, East Africa. And I mean, we love Odoo generally, and we have interfaced with it. Of course, we use OCA modules. And of course, as the vision you have just well explicitly said it, it's really onboarding and letting the whole world really become part of the whole ecosystem. Now, I'm not so sure what has informed these numbers, but you also mentioned that 95% of the contributors and pretty much the stakeholders around OCA are in Europe. So, right? Yeah, Europe and US. So, for the subscriptions, and I mean this to an extent is tied to the model of Odoo itself. The figures probably related. So I would imagine companies wanting to subscribe to this is really for recognition, right? So I feel if, and I just really just want clarification. I feel if these figures are very much very close to Odoo, licensing and all that, partnership and all these things, because companies are really just buying into that for purposes of recognition, and and they can get onboarded, and they can get a bit of marketing here and there. I think the OCA would provide a very good channel, because majority of users, I guarantee you, are really community-based. There's enterprise, but not everybody can buy those licenses. So I'm very sure in Africa, where I come to, majority of my clients are actually community users. We use the OCA modules in one or the other, and there are a number of companies that would want that bit of recognition. So if the figures are very close, I feel if the figures are so close to what, let's say, Odoo, the parent company is offering, and if it's the purpose of recognition, someone would easily buy into the, if they actually had that budget, they would actually buy more into to Odoo, the parent company. So maybe if you could just explain what is really informing the figures, it would probably give a lot more perspective. Forgive me for a very long question, or I don't know.
No, it's good. So yes, of course, there are the partnership levels that it's like how do you say that, a benchmark. But also, I thought about what would cost all those things, and I did some figures to check what we would need and how many subscriptions we would need to get a certain level of money, and that also drove the figures there. Also, I want to explain that those are the numbers that I think European and US company can pay quite easily, and for companies in other parts of the world, it might be quite expensive. So we also consider making it cheap, a different pricing for those other countries. And we need to discuss it a bit in detail with the different companies, because the idea also is to get the money where there is money, and there is a lot of money in Europe and the US for the moment, and that's also the goal, that to take the money where it is, and also focus on the membership, which is really a cheap entrance fee, and so we think that we can also give a lot of value to the people with the membership, even if they don't go there on the subscriptions. But we can adapt. It's also good to get the feedback about the numbers and adapt them for the different countries and discuss with all of you to get something that matches what you want to put there. There was yes, Ivan.
So actually, hello everyone, my name is Ivan. Yes, I'm from Chetmix. Yes, sorry, Ivan. My question is, so what do you think about our distinguishment from Odoo? So right now, our slogan says, okay, let's Odoo mightier together. But frankly speaking, I think Odoo is mighty enough at the moment, yes. And probably we should switch a little bit and think about ourselves, because as I mentioned, yes, Fabien is a billionaire, but I think not every one of us is already in the same position, yes? So probably we need to be like more OCA specific, and we should distinguish OCA from Odoo at some point. What do you think about it, and are there any plans and are there any, let's say, strategic points about that? Prego.
Yes. So how we want to be distinguished from Odoo?
Yes. So for example, that's a really good question about the pricing. So for example, okay, I can pay this money, no problem. But what do I get for that money? Yes, when I'm buying something, I would like to get some value. Yeah. So that's not the problem. The problem is not the price. But the question is the value for that price. So we would like to have some value as a sponsor, for example. And that means that we need to understand that going OCA and being OCA means being different, means being something. Odoo is, well, that's all. There will be a lot of people there, but OCA is something different, something, let's say, above Odoo. Not because we are bragging, but because we have such great people like Pedro, who is doing thousands of pull requests and reviews, and other contributors who are building this community, yes, and we need to recognize it. And we need to use this power to be more recognized in the entire community.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that is, so value is important to explain the price. That's the idea.
Yeah, but yeah, I agree. We need to explain the value, but we need to do it to be able to show the value as well. I mean, that's the first step. And I think that the whole challenge here is to make the people know about what we are doing in the OCA. And so I think it goes with a lot of better communication and marketing. I didn't go into those details, but I can go with some of you if you want to afterwards or tomorrow. I created a budget with what we should get from which different subscriptions and what team we can build inside the OCA to make things happen. So I planned some budget for the communication to have a really professional branding because, yeah, let's face it, we are not so good there. Also have someone to do more community management on the social media and create a lot of content about what we are doing into the OCA. So those are all the things I would like to do with the money we hope to get from this subscription. And I hope that in the future it will be easier for people to get the value and want to come and contribute and be part of it. Does it answer? Yeah. There is Pierre there who was first.
I was wondering what could happen with the quarterly meeting with the board, and I feel that it's not very fair for a small company that couldn't pay the subscription, and maybe those talk could orient the board to make decisions centered with to that company. Not sure if I'm clear. I feel it's not so fair that company that pay premium subscriptions that will talk with the board and maybe orient the board to make decisions. I have the feeling OCA won't be a really non-profit, well, not a free to make any decision. I know the board. In the board there is a company already, but
yeah, that's a good point. And yeah, that's not the goal. But I suppose if there is fear in the community, we need to acknowledge it. So
This is the same objection that I gave you when we discussed it. The answer is no.
yeah, but I mean it's good feedback. Maybe we can find a way to make sure it doesn't happen, or maybe we have to change it there. So we take the feedback and we come back to you. Frédéric?
I just want to make a point that is important to me. We, as we are sitting here, we are all, to some extent, members of the community, either contributing with ideas, with pull requests, with whatever. But as Fabien always tells us in the experience event, the market is much larger, and if we transfer that picture, the analogy, to us, then we are discussing about this
and they will push more developers to going into contributors. So we will grow, and big companies will push more developers, so they will contribute more. For every one of us, and the community will survive and will grow in a market that now is nothing. Is really near to disappear, because the strongest of other companies, big companies, are more than the OCA, not Odoo, other companies in Odoo. So I see here a solution. So I don't focus in try to find the mistake. I focus on, if this is not the best solution, we should give another one, but not look for wrong thing here, because I think it's a really good idea to survive and to grow. And maybe next year we could be here 500 people, and we can have in GitHub 400 contributors. That is the important thing in my side. Thank you.
Okay, that was a good last intervention.
What's up here?
So I propose to stop here. I'm here the rest of the days. I will also be there on the Odoo XP. We have a booth there, so we can continue to discuss, and you can continue to give me feedback. I will be happy to discuss that further with you. And thank you. Good evening, and see you.
Announcement officiel avant la fin de l'année. Je pense qu'il va donner.
Ouais.